So Sylvia, all these things have happened, and they seem to be happening in a very short span of time. So everything is happening so fast for you. You're also young, so there's also the aspect of you're a young mother of 3 babies. So much has happened. You are just on the verge of taking your own life, and then all these other things are happening to you. And you get to a point where you also feel like you would want to go that road again to try to take your own life because it is too much. What was going through your mind at that time?
I think the correct word would be overwhelmed, because no one thinks depression unless you've been depressed. There is the wave of loneliness. There is the wave of not belonging. Then there is that wave of self-blaming, because you're like, oh, I must have done this. What did I do? What did you do? You know. And if everyone speaking at you is still saying the same thing, so they're fueling that thing. You know, there's that feeling of unworthiness. You know, and then you get to a point, I don't care. So the I don't care is the worst, because that is, because these other places you're still consciously feeling it and trying to do something, it's not working, trying to. But when you get to the I don't care, you see the way you see people mad, walking mad, dirty, whatnot. It's a journey to get there, because I remember the days of like, I don't feel like showering. Why am I even showering for? You know, because but you know you have to because you're going to work. But at the back inside, that's what you're thinking. Like, do I have to do this? You question everything. You know, even the basic like, why am I eating? I don't even need to. You know, you belittle yourself to that level that you feel unworthy for anything. You know, even if someone comes and says, "Oh, I love you," you just start saying the way. Are you just saying it because you feel like you should say? You don't mean it. You doubt everything. Having been there is the only way you're able to identify that monster. And because even after that, not like it left. Because in this journey of trying to rediscover myself and build myself back, those days came. Those days when I'm looking at my kids and I'm like, it's better if we're not here, you know? When I'm like, because this now I cannot say it's better for me not being there, because I know they can't live without me when I'm the only one who's there. And these are, we're talking about young children. So it took me identifying that, Sylvia, you are the center point here. You need to get a grip. You know, you can do this. You've seen worse before, you know. And a lot of, at that point, I won't even lie to you, me and God were a no-go zone, because I stopped believing, because I did not believe the way you can say, oh, I'm all loving, I'm all this, yet you're letting this happen to me. So you let go of so much. I remember I did the alabastron cause, and that's how I started reclaiming myself. And it's what opened my eyes that you're deserving, you're worthy, you don't have to fit into the world, the chronologies of, oh, you have to be here by this. Because you see, even for me, I'm like, I'm only this, I have 3 kids. No, like, wow, what are you thinking? Look at you now. You have 3 kids, no one will ever marry you, no one will ever, you know, there's all these thoughts that also came, you know, every phase comes with its own challenges and its own self-doubt. I look at me like, oh my God, no one can date you. You have special kids, 1. You have boys, 2. Africa context says it's easier to marry a woman who has girls than who has boys. And you're like, me, my life is over. Because that's how it felt at that point. So it took that self-evaluation, that self-rediscovery to actually get to where I am. Because now I decided I am in charge, I am worthy, I am a queen in my own space, I am a child of God, and God says X, Y, Z, and that is what it is, no matter what any other human being says. And that was the point at which I got to reclaim the position of being in charge fully. But then now I need to find my purpose. And that has been a journey on its own. Because I remember the other thing that I learned from that was allowing myself to feel. Because I realized there's so much that happened in the past that was affecting my current, but I didn't know subconsciously. You know, things that happened in the past that played a big role in my life now. But I never saw it coming. I never realized it until now. I unpacked my life from childhood to relationships to whatnot. And when you piece it together and you sit back and look at that life from outside, then you realize what needs to be.
Did you, besides the alabastron, did you ever need to have any treatment on you? Did you have to go through counseling to get from that point of I am so overwhelmed the point where you are at right now, of your purpose?
Let me just say, the first time I went to that psychiatric support, I didn't feel helped. Because either the way it was handled, because come sit, how was your week, I felt like I was just sitting and narrating my day, like, and then go. I continue taking your medication and that's it. So sometimes it takes you to get you out of that spot. Not that person, not those medications. It's your will and your willpower to live for you is what will get you through. You might live for your children, but remember, these children grow and live. That does that mean you circle back to that where you were? Because now you don't have anything else. So you need to embrace yourself, love yourself, put yourself first. Because always remember, you were born, then after you were named. Then now that's when your daughter of so and so, your auntie too, then you became mother of, sister too. So who comes first? It's you. So you embrace that. Whatever life throws at you, whatever it is, remember, you are the center of your universe. The way we go around the sun, everyone goes around you. And the earlier you embrace that, the easier it is. And you hold yourself with that kind of regard, then you'll be able to see all that is around you. Because remember when we say, your glass could be that, but if you focus on this empty and forget how full it is, it's useless. So basically, it's useless. It's not like it all ended. I still have my days. I'm still a single lady. I'm still a mother raising 3 boys alone. I'm still a mother running a business. I'm still a mother doing all those things. I still have those low moments. I still have those lonely days. I don't block it out. I allow myself to feel. If it's loneliness, I allow myself to dwell in that loneliness. What I remind myself, don't dwell down there for too long. Allow yourself to go through it and get out. Because the longer you allow yourself to sit there, the deeper you keep sinking.
Exactly.
It comes from now going through the moment to it becomes a stress and a pain point. Now you land back to depression, which is bottomless now. So you need to know, yes, I'm low. Okay, I'm low, Sylvia. You're low, why? A, B, C, D. Okay, we are sorry for ourselves. I wish this, I wish that, I wish all the things we are allowed to wish. And then you're like, so what can I do about it? X, Y, Z. And you choose out of your X, Y, Z's. Just don't stay there.
Amazing.
That's how I do. Because you see, you're out there helping everyone else. And you also feel that moment of like, okay, who is going to take care of me? You get there and I'm like, I've given so much. So I always say, even in the space of giving, take time to refill that space. So he came and he hugged me. And God comes through in different ways. Because I tell you, for once, I did not go through that. He picked me up like this. Like immediately I went into my room. Everyone else was busy. But he came. He was like, are you okay? Here is water, because he knows like my routine. He said, like, Mom, here is water. Are you okay, Mom? I love you. And he told me like 10 I love yous. Until I didn't feel I need anything else. Because we're human beings. Sometimes you feel that, So, and he came and he held me. And I fell asleep. And I woke up in the morning. I'm like, okay, what was happening yesterday?
Oh, beautiful. You forgot the place where you were.
And remember, this is the child I did not want to have. This is that child that I felt was a burden. I felt I was not ready for. But God knew what gift He was giving me.
They are such a blessing to your life.
Blessing because it's because of them. It's because of their specialness that I had the foundation. It's because of, I call it purpose, that you don't know until God puts it in front of you. Because had I not had these children, had I not walked through the life of raising them as a single mom, there is no way I'd be able to support another parent who's going through this, because I'd not have enough knowledge and power to feel their pain. Because I slept, I have never slept hungry. God has never allowed that to happen. But even in the hardest times when I had to take 1 meal a day so that my kids could have 3, gives you that position of authority, that position of being able to understand someone else's pain. Because He made sure you went through that tunnel. So that when you get out, I say, everything is to the glory of God. Even now, everything that I do, the strength that people say you have amazing strength, I'm like, it's not me, it's supernatural, because I cannot explain it. When the day ends, I'm tired like everyone else. but I wake up with so much grace. So he gives me over-sufficient grace to be able to do his work. Because I'm not doing it for myself. And everything he made me go through was supposed to just be for the glory of his name. Because if I share it like that, it's not for me. It is for maybe someone else.
Your story is so powerful, Sylvia. Your story is so powerful. And just thinking about where you have been and everything that you have had to go through, and looking at you now and the amazing things that you're doing, Sylvia, you are a strong woman. I must tell you that. Like, I kept on, most of the times you try to put yourself in someone's shoes, then you realize, they are the only ones who understand that shoe. But we can only try to imagine how difficult that time was for you, and seeing that you are able to pick yourself and talk with confidence the way you are doing now, so that you are just amazing. I must tell you that. So what I want, before we finish, I would want you to kindly tell us about Andy Speaks. What is Andy Speaks, and what do you do with Andy Speaks?
Okay, so Andy Speaks is my baby organization. It's called Andy after my middle son, because he's the one who opened my eyes for the purpose as to why I am here. I call it my purpose because God specifically did, through his own way, send people. Or every book I read, he sent me one message, which I referred to, which was Proverbs 31:8 and 9, which says, "Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, and ensure justice is done to the unjust." And that is basically what Andy Speaks is. It's called Andy Speaks for Special Needs Person. And what we're involved in is ensuring the rights of people with neurodevelopmental disability, which is one where my child's disability falls in. That is autism, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, learning challenges.
Sometimes when we go through certain experiences, and you wonder why you had to go through that, but look at what you've been able to build out of your experience. Now you're able to hold hands of other moms who are in the place where you are, and of course you're able to be an encouragement for them. So Andy Speaks is like an answer to so many mothers out there. It becomes like their place where they can come and find comfort. So you're doing amazing work out there, and thank you so much for sharing your story. And just before we conclude now, the last thing, I want you to just speak to that mom who is in that place right now. She now has a special needs child, and she's just wondering, okay, so how am I supposed to continue living? How am I supposed to be positive with everything that is happening to me right now? What would you tell that mom?
To that parent, I know when you get a special needs child, it's not like we all expect to get a perfect baby when we're giving birth. We all hope for that. But God knows, I always say, you're called special parent because that baby chose, and God saw that you can do it. He did not just drop it in your laps. And these children, it's not like you can say return to sender and they go away. It's been given, and it's just if you embrace them, they can offer a lot. If you just focus. I say, see the able and not the label. That is one of the captions that I usually say. And embrace their difference. Build something out of that difference. Because you never know. Because I wouldn't be here if it was not for my children. I would never even have known I never knew what autism is until it landed in front of me. And look at, so it's the same way they say, the way they say, the Bible says that the stone that the builders threw away is what was used to build a cornerstone. So that child that you feel like you want to get rid of because they're not worthy, focus on the positivity. You will be shocked at how much you can build out of it. And I know those moments come, those days when I know I pull my hair when we are sick, when you can't understand because they can't talk, and you're like, God, why? Always remember He will answer you. Just be persistent and ask. Because I remember I asked, I rang, and He came up to me and I told me, this is why I want you. And this is why I allowed you to go through this, because that's where your destiny is. So He could be your destiny connector. Just focus on the right things.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sylvia. Like, I would not say thank you enough. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate you accepting to tell us your story. I'm sure so many moms out there have been encouraged by just you sharing your story. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody. for watching this video and for watching Sylvia's story. I'm sure that there's so many of you out there who have been encouraged by her story, and we're going to be doing this again next week, so kindly tune in on Friday for another story like this one of a mom sharing her own personal journey, and I'm sure that so many of you are going to be encouraged by this story. So thank you so much. Please do subscribe if you haven't, and have a good time. Bye.
Bye. See you. Thank you.